Thank you, Ken, and good evening, everybody, again, as Queensland leave the rooms and make that famous entrance onto Suncorp Stadium. And, of course, welcomed by that roar of the crowd. Gary Belcher said it earlier. You run out there and it hits you. You can almost feel it. And, of course, these players that haven't been there before have just got one hell of a rugby league shock. There's young Matt Singh donning the headgear. And the only difference between he and Steve Renouf in looks will be that he's quite a bit smaller. Brett Dallas, unbeaten in State of Origin appearances, and Tony Hearn with a lot on his mind. And we do wish the Twins well in their recovery. Brad Thorne, 6'5" of him, and one of the debutants. 4 of them in the Queensland side, 3 in the New South Wales side. And talking of the Blues, Brad Fittler, he takes them out now. Youngest captain of Australia since Reg Gasnier, the youngest New South Welshman to pull on the blue jumper. The Blues, under the guidance of Phil Gould, beaten 3-0 last year, and it's here that they hope to turn it all around, because statistics do prove that the team that wins game 1 goes on to win the series more often than not. And of course the players are back that weren't in the arena last year. Paul Harrigan, he wasn't one of those. He was there doing his best, but there is one, Laurie Daly. One heck of a player. Will he line up in the centres, or will he play at 5'8"? And Andrew Johns and Jeff Tuvey will probably intermingle between halfback and dummy half, as they did on the World Cup tour. So Queensland, they come together, and Billy Moore doing plenty of the talking. His counterpart in 13, Adam Muir from Newcastle. 5 of the players in their State of Origin from the Novocastrian city. Just standing by for the national anthem. And it's to be performed by Emma Castle, the 15-year-old winner of the Best Female Vocalist at Queensland's Battle of the Bands. Players assembling in front of a crowd. It must be on 40,000. The Suncorp Origin record was set here in Game 3 in 1994 at 40,665. Here is the Australian national anthem. That is Emma Castle, and the stage is set. We come to the main event. This crowd has been building since early this afternoon. The preliminary matches, keeping them entertained. The ground in beautiful condition. And David Manson is about to blow time on for his 7th Origin match. Crowd hushed. A lot of expectation surrounding not only this match but the series. There's time on, and it's Queensland from left to right. Robbie O'Davis starts Origin 1996 as Brasher comes back. Tim Brasher, the first New South Wales player tackled. Harrigan gets in and takes the second play. Tuvey waving the Queenslanders off. The tackled New South Welshman, and Dean Payner takes the third play just outside the 20-metre line. And covering a lot of ground in defence from marker was Brad Thorne. Clearing kick off the number 9, Andrew Johns, is deep and bouncing inside the 20-metre line for fellow Newcastle player Robbie O'Davis to bring it back. And the chase from New South Wales was good. Brad Fittler and Andrew Ettinghausen.
A tremendous start there from New South Wales. 4 good rucks to get within distance to kick the football, and Andrew Johns, he must have picked up 60 metres. The chase was good. Now Tony Hearn spins out of a tackle, centre field, 18 out from his own line.
Bartram, a dummy half, comes across to the right for Larson. Larson hits the wall and bounces back off it. Pay driving in. Harrigan involved in everything in both attack and defence so far. Billy Moore gets a reception from New South Wales forwards. Centre of the ground, 30 metres out, and Alan Langer goes to the boot, and it goes down low, bounces up favourably for the Illawarra winger, Rod Wishart, to come back, and a good run. It ends for him right in the centre of the ground. Harrigan finds himself a dummy half, and now David Ferner off his right foot steps into the forward.
Well, there we see the difference. Queensland with only a very short kick. New South Wales already in an attacking zone, and they will put a lot of pressure on here. If they don't make a bust, certainly I think you'll see the ball kick to the corner or in the air on the last tackle.
Tuvey continues the wrap up to the right. Harrigan it is who runs to the far side, and Tuvey's now looking for a call. Johns wants it, and he's with it now. He spins it quickly and wide through to Fittler. They run some decoys, and out wide was Ferner. Played quickly, but Ettinghausen, did he knock on? They said no. The grubbing kick goes into the corner, and trouble here for Queensland. The in-goal judge has got the call. There's an appeal from the New South Welshman. Referee Manson denying the try.
Well,
and in fact, giving the penalty against the New South Welshman for not staying 10 metres away from O'Davis.
And I still think that Robbie O'Davis got downward pressure on this ball first, so it wouldn't have been a try.
Well, there was the Mullins hand coming in, but Laurie Daly was the man ruled to be offside.
I got a feeling that part of O'Davis's torso has given some downward pressure to it. That's enough. Doesn't have to be hand or arm enforcing the ball. As long as there's some part of the torso, that's sufficient. So a touchy call there for Manson. He got a lot of help from his in-goal judge, and Queensland off the hook. Davis finding the line. The tap is taken. Bartram serves it up for Hearn. Hearn backing into the opposition, and now he's rounded up 40 metres out from the Blues line. The big crowd ruling Queensland on as Gilmeister is taken there, and what a tackle it was too from David Ferner. Now the 12, Brad Thorne. He takes it down to the 30-metre line. A good run by young Brad Thorne as they come to the right and turned inside. Gilmeister through Bartram, then Larson. Larson driven back by strong Ettinghausen defence.
That'll be a good confidence boost to that run by Brad Thorne earlier. We haven't seen him involved in the play yet. Origin debut, and he needs to get involved early.
O'Davis works across with Dallas. And Dallas has put away on tackle 5. Singer's the dummy half. Oh, that went to Billy Moore. He didn't want it. He didn't expect it either. And Harrigan comes up with it for New South Wales.
Yes, a breakdown in communications for the Maroons as Timmy Brasher comes up from fullback to get involved. And the quality of defence is evident already, which once again will make the kicking game so important. We've already seen the Blues go close on one occasion. And it will come to the fore all night.
Now, it's Adam Muir, New South Wales lock forward, who plays it on the halfway line. They come back and go through Johns into the hands of the captain, Fittler. It's a big kick, and it's too big. It's out on the full. This will be a good start for Queensland. Good field position.
There's no real reason to kick there for Brad Fittler. It wasn't the last tackle. He wasn't in good position. You see here, the defence has come up fairly quickly. He had to stop. He wasn't balanced to get a proper kick away. It was only a couple of feet out, but it comes back 60 metres for a scrum.
So the first tackle will be made somewhere near the halfway line, and that tackle from Daly is high. It'll bring a penalty. The tackle from Laurie Daly on Robbie O'Davis.
Well, Brad Fittler was the man, in fact. That left swinging arm just gets O'Davis around the neck. He's come up out of it okay, O'Davis. That's a big chance for Queensland now. They're only 30 metres out from the line.
And they'll be looking to get Brad Thorne involved here. Hasn't he got the build of a State of Origin player? Good tackle here on Larson. The second time he's been forced back.
As Andrew Johns doing the forcing, and now the Maroons with Tony Hearn, they launch another attack about 25 metres out from the New South Wales line, and he's lost the ball, so it's been a good tackle. Harrigan and Lazarus, front rowers, combining to put Tony Hearn down, and he has coughed up possession.
It's a good hit there from the two big New South Wales front rowers. They do outweigh their Queensland opposite. He couldn't hang on to the ball as he hit the deck.
I also think there's a little bit of a help there from Glenn Lazarus, the hand coming in as a penalty here for New South Wales with the Queensland backline offside from the scrum win.
So the penalty given out in the centre of the ground, it was against Matt Singh and Steve Renouf, really. And now the tap will be taken a couple of metres on their own side of halfway. Lazarus is put away, just inching play into the opposition half, and here's Tuvey sprinting out from dummy half, as undoubtedly he will do a lot tonight. And then Harrigan is on the end of a Tony Hearn tackle. Tuvey calling on the referee for the penalty, and he gets it. So the penalty has gone to New South Wales. First attempted goal. Andrew Johns will be the goal kicker.
Yes, Andrew Johns has the nod in front of a couple of other accomplished kickers here. Tony Hearn grappling with Paul Harrigan. Gary Larson also involved and not getting off as quickly as the referee desired. Andrew Johns, a kick from about 23-4 metres to the side of the posts. Of course, both Rod Wishart and David Furner kicked for their club sides. So an abundance of good kickers in this Blues lineup.
Andrew Johns, his record in Optus Cup on your screen, 83%. He's 25 metres out, just off centre. 7.5 minutes gone on the clock. First half of Origin 1, and he hits it, and it's just there. New South Wales grab first points. They lead 2 points to 0. Yeah. He probably hooked it a little bit more savagely than he had hoped. Flags up, that's all that matters. Now Davis restarts. Lazarus on the bring back. 20 metres out. Harrigan is with it, 2 points to 0. The Blues over Queensland. You're watching the State of Origin on the Nine Network around Australia.
I think that's a familiar sight you'll see tonight. Lazarus with one hit up, Harrigan following him. I think he'll prey off of that. Lazarus with the big yards forward, and Harrigan looking to get the quick play the ball.
Now, Robbie O'Davis faced with the New South Wales defence. And now Langer spears it off to Renouf, and Renouf gets his first touch of the ball, and David Manson is keen to keep them apart. So a penalty again for being inside the 10 against one of these sides.
Let's have a look at this. Alan Langer keen to get the ball, and Muir keeping him off him, so Alfie's done a little Cumberland throw on him. The judo throws come out again.
4-2 the penalties to Queensland. Already 6 penalties given by David Manson. He comes into the match under not only the pressure of Origin football, but under the pressure of the publicity surrounding last Friday night. That's a good run by Wayne Bartram. And Queensland have got New South Wales where they want them at the moment. Langer holds it back and then tries to provide for Thorne. The knock-on is there. Scramble pack.
Queensland committing suicide at this end of the field on a couple of occasions with mistakes. Langer trying to bring the man back on the inside. Unfortunately, Brad Thorne was unable to take the pass. That was only on the 4th tackle, so after 10 minutes, been through the settling in period. The handling errors going against the home side.
New South Wales forwards overall have made an impressive start. Steve Roach, a comment from you.
Yeah, they've been very impressive. The thing that I like about their performance so far is their urgency. They're all ready to start the game as quick as they can from tack restarts.
Jason Smith with a desperate tackle out of marker on Geoff Toovey, who's already proving a dangerous target for New South Wales. He's proving very elusive. Some of the big forwards trying to get hold of the little bloke. Here's Dean Pay now. 5 metres short of the halfway. Fifth tackle. As Toovey again appeals to let them play the ball more quickly. Andrew Johns goes across to an alternate kicker in Tim Brasher, and he's done the same as Brad Fittler. The Blues kicking game has been off on 2 occasions on the end of their tackle count.
Yeah, he's talking about committing suicide. Couple out on the full. That's an unforgivable error as Brad Thorne offloads to Robbie O'Davis. Some good defence in the middle of the ruck. Once again, Queensland have an opportunity in good attacking position. And they come the blind side through Gary Larson, who earns his team a penalty. Interesting to see whether they'll opt to kick for goal here.
Well, Al's first reaction normally is to kick the sideline or the quick tap. Well, there is the quick tap. He's looking out wide. Surprising that. I would have thought Wayne Bartram would like a shot this early.
Bartram, a dummy half, unloads onto the left of the ground, and Billy Moore again taken in a savage tackle. David Furner's made some big hits. That tackle was up around the shoulders. Manson indicates as such. Queensland come on the attack again through the hands, and Langer probes, unloads the ball, scooped away by Renouf. Here's big Brad Thorne, and Thorne is tackled about 16 metres out from the line. They go back to the centre of the ground, and Jason Smith tries to get a grubbing kick in. It came off the New South Wales player, then Sailor back for Renouf. The ball goes to ground, and Manson will rule a knock-on and a scrum.
And Laurie Daly gives his defence a clap there. It was good work, scrambling play from the Blues. Andrew Johns came in and made a very timely tackle. Jason Smith, he probably would have been better off coming the right-hand side. That's where all the attack was aimed. The ball was hit back to Wendell Sailor. He's able to offload, and you'll see Andrew Johns, the number 9, come in and put pressure on Renouf, and that forced the mistake.
So Toovey working the scrum in front of his own uprights, and Brasher comes away with it. What an illustrious back line to choose from. For Toovey on the left, he had Daly. He could have gone to him. He could have gone out to Brad Fittler. And now David Furner getting through some hard work for the New South Wales forwards as Toovey goes out to Johns, and Johns further out for Fittler. Inside pass for Brasher was forward. The crowd went up. They came down just as quickly.
Well, you see a forward pass sometimes, or a pass that's close, and you think it may be. This didn't even... Well, at first glance, I thought no chance of forward, and I still stick to that. Looked good to me, Sterlo.
Well, it looks like a tough call, doesn't it? Tim Brasher, he thought he was onside. And the bad sign for Queensland, of course, is that there was some lazy defence on the inside that opened up that hole.
Here they are winning the scrum now. So Langer pushes it across the line, and Matt Singh was almost through. Clutching tackle by Fittler. They line up on the blind side. Billy Moore is taken by Muir. 20-metre line underneath him. And now for Gary Larson, playing in the number 10 jumper. Front row forward duty for Gary Larson in this origin. Bartram for Langer, out, the runaround with Smith, and then an infielder for Sailor. Sailor is held underneath by Adam Muir. Over the top there by Andrew Johns, and now it's with Langer. He kicks, he's looking for Dallas. New South Wales cleaning it up, it's a line drop out. Good tactics, they'll get the ball back, the Maroons.
That is good tactics. Finally a good kicking game from Queensland. Langer, seeing that Brasher had a lot of yards to cover, just angles it into the corner. Look at Matt Singh on the fly there with a big chase. No choice for Brasher but to clean it up, take it over the dead ball.
Very noticeable now that Wendell Sailor coming off his wing looking for work. Very dangerous in the middle of the ruck. He's so strong, tremendous on his feet. It's a good sign for the Maroons that he's looking to get involved. Alan Langer still the focal point in attack. Been a couple of mistakes made because of a lack of communication. And Andrew Johns now hoping to pick up as many metres with the kick as possible. It's a pretty good one. 45 on the fly.
Dallas it is that takes it back. And provided an enthusiastic chase down the ground with Matt Singh. That youthful exuberance comes through. Oh, that's a good tackle by Glenn Lazarus on Trevor Gilmeister. And now Billy Moore turns it back in for Brad Thorne. And he's 25 metres away from the New South Wales line. In fact, a little bit better than that. Sloppy played the ball. Langer gives it on. Jason Smith looks to go in. And then they try to get a pass away for Renouf. The ball goes all over the place, and so a scrum will go down. We'll go down to the sideline. Let's take a comment from Kevin Walters.
Yeah, boys, I think Queensland really needed them to play at a set of 6. They've been punishing the New South Wales line. They just need to get a couple of sets of 6 together. We see there again, they've just come up with another spill. So if they can keep doing that, that'll put them in better field position, I think.
Steve Renouf really likes to run angles. He's got explosive speed. With one of the New South Wales players slipping, helped his cause. Now Mullins, just about his first touch of the football, and gain yards for Tuvey up the middle.
Jeff Tuvey's having a blinder in the early part of the game. Out from dummy half, the nippy Manly captain and number 7. He did the same in the World Cup. He and Johns formed a marvellous combination. New South Wales had to get the penalty.
Well, that's the second time New South Wales have got a penalty in the play the ball area. I think it's had the desired effect for the Blues. They're jumping to their feet and playing it quickly, and Queensland now a little bit cautious of holding on too long. I think that's why the Blues seem to be rolling up the middle quite well. Andrew Johns getting some big yards.
Here's Lazarus now. 22 metres out from the opposition line. Decoy run allowed to go from Harrigan. Tuvey takes the tackle under Gilmeister and Larson. And then Johns looks for the call. Dean Pay handy with the ball, but they take him to ground, ball and all. The tackle from Billy Moore and also from Tony Hearn, and then they go back to the right, and Johns away for Daly. Daly for Brasher. Brasher is able to get a ball away. Daly was there. Daly now tackled just inside the 10-metre line. No marker, or was there a marker? Daly draws the penalty. Well, Billy Moore is going to feel pretty hardly done by here. New South Wales will get the penalty. They've got the penalty, and they should get the 2 points.
Again, that's a tough call. The referee called play on, and when the Queensland defender got involved, that's when the referee gave the penalty. Daly to his feet. Well, I think it is a pretty good call. Daly, when he did get it to his feet and played the ball forward, Billy Moore was still to the side of the ruck area.
Yeah, well, Billy Moore, he can express himself, and he didn't on that occasion, so he was quite happy to cop it sweet. So Harrigan has gone back to the bench. Who's gone on, Steve?
Jamie Ainscough. Interesting one, this one. Jamie Ainscough on. Fittler will move to lock, and Daly will go to 5'8".
Right, such is the versatility of this New South Wales side. Selectors have given Phil Gould, I think, a marvellous side. This should be 4 points to 0 off the boot of Andrew Johns. He got 2 points with his first kick. I don't think he was happy the way he struck it. This is close in, and he gets the 2 points. New South Wales leading now 4 points to 0. Andrew Johns has got a perfect record so far. Leo Davis brings it back for the restart. Origin 1 from Queensland Suncorp Stadium, formerly known as Lang Park. 25 times it has played host to Origin football. New South Wales by 4. 27 metres out from their own line. And a long pass finds Daly. Daly tried to shovel the ball off on the inside to Muir. He put it down and then appeals for a penalty. Adam Muir is saying, I was held without the ball, but the referee wants a scrum nevertheless.
He is claiming that, but the bad news for Queensland, they are struggling out on this right side defence. Well, I'm not sure that Brad Thorne impeded him. He was trailing him very closely, but they are finding plenty of holes, the Blues, out wide.
Yeah, I don't think the pass was going to find Adam Muir anyway, but he is causing some problems to lock forward. It's Wendell Saylor, runs into a traffic jam. If Jeff Tuvey's New South Wales best player, then Adam Muir is the second best. We're having a great game.
Now the number 13s come together. And Bartram works on the blind side, about 20 metres in width. Thorne is tackled on the 20-metre line. The bench down there, Jason Croker, Jim Dimmick.
It's interesting, Ray, half a dozen players at least in the New South Wales camp have those those breathe right strips across their nose to open up the nasal passages. And say something they use this week at training.
Are you getting a commission there?
No.
Now they come to the right. And Tony Hearn is tackled on the 20-metre line. Tackle number 5. As Bartram now turns it in for Langer. And Langer goes very high and across the park. And Brasher went up above them. Beautiful take by Brasher. Daly finds himself running it out from dummy half.
Ray, even at this early stage, I've got to say that I am disappointed with the 10 metres as Tim Brasher, one of the best takers of the high ball in the business, struts his stuff. But for both teams, I think he's really struggling, the referee, to keep them back 10 metres.
Here's Lazarus. It certainly wasn't from the amount of penalties gave early on, Manson. That was aimed at trying to keep them apart, but obviously they've taken no notice, and he's decided to drop off the enforcement of it. Johns, he puts a kick selectively between fullback and winger, and that's important. As O'Davis puts on a sprint, he beat Ainscough. He left Ainscough groping at mid-air, and O'Davis has taken it back towards the halfway line. Lazarus did very well to make the tackle. Oh, Gilmeister! He wasn't in orbit, but he finished up in it. Now, this is Alan Cann. His first taste of Origin football as Tony Hearn comes off. Larson, taken by Daly. 38 metres out from the New South Wales line. Across for Alfie Langer to go on for Jason Smith. And then away for Steve Renouf. Renouf taken by Ainscough and Fittler. Last tackle. And it's left to Alan Langer again. He keeps it low. He punches it into the corner. The high cameras take us down to watch the ball hit the corner post. That is dead in goal. Back to the 20-metre point for the restart.
Once again, proof that it is a game of inches here. Alan Langer's kick. He just wanted to roll one into the in-goal area and force Tim Brasher to beat Brett Dallas. Instead, it's a 20-metre restart for the Blues. It's just not gelling exactly right for the Maroons at the moment, as David Furner picks up 4 metres but then loses a couple.
They've got so many options in the area of playmaker, New South Wales. So many more than Queensland, Gary Belcher.
Well, that's the players that are on the field at the moment. Let's remember Jim Dimmick, who has been in magnificent form early this year. He's going to come on too and wreak a bit of havoc around the play the ball.
Here's Manson again enforcing the 10-metre rule. He comes in and goes out in spasms on the ruling. 4-0 New South Wales, 23 minutes gone in the game. And there is an indication on the high shot of how they encroached on the 10. But again, he's penalising selectively. I suppose he feels he's got a job to do to keep the entertainment flowing. Dean Pay.
Again, Adam Muir for New South Wales, lurking out wide on the far side of Brad Fittler now. Goes to the line, puts the backside in. And now numbers to the left. They'll look for Andrew Johns to pick up the wide runners.
So it's Johns now. And Daly is with it. He gets a decoy call from Brasher, and then the Canberra teammate Furner. He is tackled 11 metres out from the line, held down by Bartram as long as he could. Then it's with Johns, now it's with Muir, and then it's back for Johns, and then he lost the ball. Eddinghausen's pass is a mile forward in front of Wishart.
Well, an opportunity there for the Blues lost. Good work from Adam Muir, as he does so well, getting the one-handed offload away to Andrew Johns. He realised that there was a bit of space out wide, and then E.T. was off balance, trying to get the football to Brett Mullins. In fact, it was Rod Wishart on that wing.
Well, Kevin Walters on the sideline. How do you think the Queensland side would be feeling about their performance thus far?
I think they'd be a little bit disappointed, but on the other hand, there's only 4 points being scored by New South Wales, and that was probably another opportunity gone begging for New South Wales, so they wouldn't be too unhappy at the moment. Still only 4-0 down. And
so you think, Kevin, that 4-0 is a bit of a bonus for Queensland?
Well, New South Wales, just as you just saw, probably had 2 scoring opportunities, and Queensland just got a break earlier through Robbie O'Davis, so their confidence will still be pretty much high.
Lang's just throwing the dummy, and the man going into dummy half now is Adrian Lamb. Interesting to see whether he'll slot into the 5'8" position as Steve Renouf again confronted by a couple of blue jerseys, now the last. So Paul Vaughton looking for a little bit of inspiration with the Sydney City Roosters half-back into the fray.
Wendell Sailor.
Brasher's run back. Sees the ball go over the sideline.
Wendell Sailor with a big chase there. Very keen to get involved. He hasn't seen a lot of the ball, and of course not much to do in defence yet. His first Origin game. Let's have a look here. Running off Alan Langer. Maybe a metre in front of him when it's kicked.
And Gary with Trevor Gilmeister off the field, does that mean Langer would take over the captaincy?
Well, I'm sure it is. Fatty indicated that earlier in the week. And I think Alf is a natural leader there. David Manson blowing up the scrum, maybe a little bit heated in there.
Well, Adrian Lamb has lined up at 5'8". Jason Smith has gone into the pack. Rob Wishart is tackled 12 metres out from his own line. For Tuvey now. He's thinking he might go for another dummy half scoop, but here's Ainscough now, trying to get around the outside of Matt Singh. Unable to do that. In fact, there's a lot of pace out on the right for Queensland, including Matt Singh and Brett Dallas. Harrigan is smothered under a three-man tackle led by Brad Thorne.
Yeah, great defence there. This is where they really need to muscle up, Queensland, but again, they've fallen asleep at marker. Matt Singh jolted Jeff Tuvey in the tackle, but he really is finding a lot of yards out of there. As now Brad Fittler looks to pick up some more with a torpedo. One bounce, two bounce into touch.
Scrum will go down back on the Queensland 20-metre line. The kick successful off the boot of Brad Fittler. 27th minute coming up on the timepiece.
Not too sure Queensland won't mind that. A little bit of breathing space for them. That certainly is the area they've got to be concerned, really, around that play the ball area. Their markers are slow to react. New South Wales are running out of dummy half. They're letting the Blues up a little bit too quickly to play the ball at times. I'm sure Paul Vaughan's going to have something to say about that in the break.
We're hoping to talk to both coaches early in the second half. As Wendell Sailor prepares to play it now, just beyond his own 20-metre line. They're just outside the red zone, as they call it. Larson wrapped up, and here's Menzies preparing to come on.
Yes, 117 for New South Wales about to come on. The other 17, Craig Greenhill, has taken the field for Brad Thorne. And what a moment for this young man from Cronulla. He's only played 24 first-grade games, and there's his first touch in State of Origin, and he'll remember it.
Paul Harrigan sending him a congratulatory card. Welcome to Origin. Now, Bartle looking for his call from Langer. Oh, Alfie Langer makes a knock on of it. So much on his plate and thinking about what to do next. And of course, he was on the last play. So the turnover there for New South Wales, and they come up with it in very good field possession. Quickly across the line, Brasher is tackled.
And they nearly got into all sorts of trouble, Queensland, because they made a replacement. Wendell Sailor had left the field on the far side. Michael Hancock was still coming on from this side, and an overlap was there straight away.
Furner plays the ball then as New South Wales start to boil up, and then they make an awful mistake. So a couple of glaring errors creeping into the game at around about the 28th minute, and there's another one from young Greenhill. Wishart will play it 40 metres out from the line. Tuvey now for Fittler. There's the long pass. Ainscough dummies to Brasher, picks him up on the circle, and Brasher then calls the winger infield. Mullins it is. Mullins will play the ball. No gain in ground, apart from the fact they came right across the park. They covered a lot of territory, but not going in the direction that Laurie Daly would like them to. Daly pinches about 10 metres now. The tackle stung him a little bit. Ainscough again finds himself a dummy half. Lazarus is with it now on the 30-metre line. Tuvey across. Johns. Fittler back inside. Muir did well to juggle it and then recover.
Well, Daly with that run earlier, then Lazarus, I guess they're saying to their team, let's just go forward. They have tended to throw the ball a little bit too wide, seeing some space on the Queensland flanks.
The kick across the ground is for Mullins. They might have sent him a telegram. Everybody was waving to him. And Dallas takes the kick. Mullins takes Dallas. Dimmick does the clapping with Croker. And 4-0 after 30 minutes of Origin 1.
Yes, this was always going to be a tactic for both teams. The kick across field. Mullins was a long way behind Andrew Johns. That's why he didn't arrive at the same time as the football. Let's see if the tackle was completed. The momentum was still there. So a big play from Brett Mullins on his opposite man.
So Menzies, what a luxury. Bringing Steve Menzies into your game 30 minutes on. Tuvey, Daly at 5/8 on this particular play. Tuvey gets to dummy half. Ainscoe's at first receiver. That's him in 15. Brasher tries to slide between them. The gap is closed though. Now they come again, and very close to getting it over the line was Andrew Eddinghausen. It's played back now for Harrigan. He has a go at it. Is he across and held up or short? He is short. Tuvey then, back for Johns. Johns holds it back, then gets it down for Daly. Off to the right for Fittler. Fittler pulled down. Oh, that was an important tackle, that. Now they come across. Greenhill it was that made the tackle. Johns and Daly. Daly kicks looking for Menzies. Dallas is there, and he saves for the Maroons.
Fantastic defence from Queensland. They really rose to the occasion. Harrigan threw himself at the line. Somehow they repelled him. Craig Greenhill, he made a mistake earlier in attack. He came up with a desperate tackle in defence. And now Gary Larson, as he always does, puts the hand up.
How important now for Queensland to complete this set of 6. Is that Harrigan lunge at the line? No, they've held him back. As Kevin Walters said, they have to get through. The last 3 times they've had the ball, they've dropped it twice and been bundled into touch once.
Back towards halfway now. The boot of Alan Lang sends it down, and it'll find touch on the 20-metre line. So New South Wales still only by 4, even though I think most people watching the game, and Kevin Walters indicated it earlier, Queensland would have to think that was a bonus.
And after half an hour, Ray, it's still a State of Origin match that hasn't got a rhythm as yet. Been punctuated by a lot of unforced errors. That's unusual at this standard. There's always been some big defence out there. Really too many players are coming up with simple mistakes, and that's not allowing the teams to gather momentum.
Manson, what's this scrum? More or less 12 metres in from touch. Mullins is lined up to take the first play, the first run out. And there he is, the Canberra fullback. Wendell Sailor back on the bench. 32.5 minutes gone in the game as Daly gets it along the line for Ainscoe. 28 metres out from their own line, New South Wales. 2 penalty goals for Andrew Johns, and this is Adam Muir. Now, it is with Dean Pay, and Pay runs at Langer. Langer is equal to the task. And gets some help there from Larson, Daly and Fittler. Yeah, taking whoever's first there at 5/8. They've just got this blend of versatility right through the side, as there is Johns kicking it deep, and it rolls down onto, or almost onto, the Queensland line. Brett Dallas will come back with him to his own 10-metre line, and Tuvey led the runners. So across now from Langer, looking for Michael Hancock to inject himself. And here's Langer back with the responsibility of running it out. Gets the pass down for Craig Greenhill. He's on the 20-metre line as Bartram goes in for dummy half work. Now, Billy Moore, I believe. Yes, it is. Grinding their way out of the danger zone as Lamb runs across and offers it for Alan Cann. Both coaches using the bench. Both playing. Oh, Jason Smith has made the mistake. That's what you're looking for in the modern game, and now New South Wales with Brasher put away. Tuvey looking for runners, looking for the call. Lazarus.
Still not enough second phase play from either team. By that I mean going to the defence, drawing the defence and offloading for some support players. This man can do it, but he's wrapped up on this occasion. Now Laurie Daly looking to set something up on the left-hand side of the field for Steve Menzies. They go right, then left.
Now it's with Daly. They're back on the side of the ground where Menzies is. And there's the pass from Daly to Menzies. Menzies standing, looking to unload. And then they bombard him over the top. Greenhill and Larson. Menzies provided a great injection for New South Wales. Now Johns, and Andrew is tackled 10 metres out on 5. Right in front of the uprights. Tuvey Then for Fittler. The kick, oh, it's a try! Eddinghausen has got the perfect bounce, and it's a try for the Blues.
Well, he snatched that out of Michael Hancock's hands. A little kick across was very well weighted. You see it here from Fittler on the right-hand side of the field, in behind the line. Hancock thinks it's coming to him. Eddinghausen sliding in on his knees.
And it was perfectly executed. If the kick had have gone any further, it would have been cleaned up by Michael Hancock. We saw from the high shot that Andrew Eddinghausen was just onside. He's got tremendous speed off the mark. He took full advantage, had to pluck the ball out. It wasn't an easy take. He never panicked in the situation. And he's one player who doesn't have a lot of involvement in a football game, but all of a sudden he'll bob up and he'll come up with the all-important try, as he's done again in this match. He's New South Wales' most capped State of Origin representative. He's been around a long time. And that's quite a blow for this Maroon side, not far out from half-time. Again, coming from mistakes at their end of the field, a lack of understanding between Alan Langer and Jason Smith, again, coming up with the error.
It really isn't surprising the number of errors that Queensland have made here.
Andrew Johns then will try to convert Andrew Eddinghausen's 6th try in Origin football. Eddinghausen, 23rd Origin tonight. Johns, perfect record coming into it. 12 metres in from touch, looks okay. Ah, it's a beautiful kick. Straight over the black dot, and New South Wales leading 10-0 as we look at the try again on another camera shot. And it was beautifully weighted by Fittler. And then Eddinghausen brought this reaction from Dimmick and Croker back on the bench. Oh, yeah. So back to the halfway mark as we come back direct. Wayne Bartram will restart with Robbie O'Davis off the park at the moment. Saylor is back at full back. Lamb is playing at 5/8. As Wishart comes back, I don't know who got the biggest thrill out of the try, Eddinghausen or Wishart. Of course, toured with the 1994 Kangaroos. As Lazarus plays it, and now Dean Pay runs it straight at Billy Moore, who takes him together with Gary Larson. And Tuvey spots another opportunity. He darts out from dummy half, gets a pass back for his manly teammate Menzies, and Saylor put him on the end of a beauty. Now they go across, and it's on from Johns for Daly. He kicks for Brasher. Brasher couldn't quite get it in.
Well, it's
And the referee is ordering a knock-on.
Certainly the Brasher knock-on first. Just a little one before it came to Michael Hancock. He got himself in a good position there. Daly with a very late kick. Thought about passing. Here's Wendell Saylor fresh from that big hit on Menzies. Here it is. Well, he's put him back on his back.
And of course the kick was a good idea next play, because Saylor had to cover a lot of metres to get over to cover. He is playing fullback.
Trevor Gilmeister, the Queensland captain, has been off now for probably the better part of 10 minutes, 15 maybe. As Adrian Lamb now puts in this kick. Brasher's going across urgently. He covered a lot of ground, Brasher, and now he runs it back away from Saylor, over the top of Dallas, trying to promote Mullins down the left flank. And Mullins is underneath that tackle from Tony Hearn.
Surprising that kick so early in the tackle count from Lamb. A full minute was left on the clock, and that normally means about 6 tackles. As it is now, the Blues have the chance to perhaps put some more points on the board.
Adam Muir is brought down on the halfway line. 10 points to 0. In favour of the Blues, as Johns tries to get something out of nothing, and he's put down 35 metres out from the line. 20 seconds on the clock, first half. Ainscough looking to find an opening. It's not there. Maybe it's there for the lock forward Muir. He runs into the same traffic zone. Tuvey now looks up at the clock as if to say, what are we going to do? Fittler says we'll go to the air. I thought Brasher was in front of the kicker. Sailors underneath it, though, and takes it professionally. The siren in the background, so the end of the first half sees the Blues go to the break, leading by just the one try. Andrew Johns with the extras. And they're leading by 10 points to 0 at half-time in Origin 1. We'll take a break, and then we're coming back. And Ken Sutcliffe and Peter Sterling will look at the highlights of that first 40 minutes. Don't go away. We're back at Suncorp Stadium in just a moment.
Back live at Suncorp Stadium, ready for the second half of this State of Origin match between New South Wales and Queensland. New South Wales went to the break 10-0 in front. Can the Queenslanders come back? To call all the action, here is Ray Warren.
Yes, Ken, thank you. New South Wales and Queensland still in the dressing rooms, with New South Wales comforted by the knowledge that they are in front 10-0 in an Origin match, and that most people would think will get them home. But they are playing the better football. Here's the Queenslanders coming back now. And it'll be interesting to see just which way Paul Vautin goes with this run-on side in the second half. He's got quite a few options himself, not as many as Phil Gould, but he has some options, and he showed them in the first half. Young Greenhill is still on.
And there we see the final discussion between the Blues as they take the field for this second half, and they'll realise that Queensland will come back at them. And the Maroons know that they didn't play particularly well in the first half. They'll realise that they can play a lot better than that, and they'll be looking to get away to a good start in this second half, try and get some early points. And if there is any complacency in the New South Wales lineup because they have a good lead, it will be found out.
A section of the crowd in the terraces, and then the hills area, the hill area, absolutely packed. He'd be contented at the moment, New South Wales captain. I'm just wondering how much captaincy Laurie Daly has undertaken, mixing and matching authority. Renouf would dearly love to get into some space. Well, apparently 3,000 tickets were left to be sold here today. I don't think they've had any trouble selling them. Now the start, second half. Are they going to come back, the Maroons? Will the Blues go on and inflict a very big defeat over them? Wendell Sailor on the end of the first tackle.
Well, this fella Sailor, I think I'd like to see him in the forwards. He's very dynamic with the football in the hands, particularly when the opposition are tired. Brad Thorne's another one that can bust the line and get a ball away. That's where Queensland are lacking. Their second phase has been pretty ordinary as well.
Tony Hearn wrapped up there the tackle made by Lazarus. Again, he's quite incredible, Glenn Lazarus. The size of the man, but the speed of the man is very deceptive. Now from Bartram and Alan Can in the starting side for the second half. And Manson appealed to for a penalty. It's not forthcoming as Langer keeps it low and drives it inside the 20-metre line. Timmy Brasher coming off his own goal line, pulled down by Billy Moore and Matt Singh. Zainsko again finds himself a dummy half before promoting Mullins. Tuvey, the dummy half. He had a tremendous first half, and he kept the Queenslanders on their heels for a greater part of it. This time he chooses to unload and pay. Crosses the 30-metre line. And now Tuvey goes for one of those dummy half runs. And if you had a yardage measurer on him, I'm not sure, but I think he's covered more territory than anybody else. Sailor now bringing it back and then offloading. Pretty ordinary defence there by the Blues. Renouf is put down. He's on his own 30-metre line. Langer goes from dummy half and tries to put Hancock down the blind side. Early minutes of the second half. 10-0 New South Wales with one try and 3 goals, and then a thumping tackle from Lazarus.
Once again, it was an illustration of just what Wendell Sailor can do on a football field. He attracted a couple and still managed to get a ball away to Steve Renouf. It was only a good tackle by Andrew Eddinghausen that stopped something as, plucked out of the air. Slips catch by Laurie Daly. Alan Langer trying to get one in behind the line. He now comes up with 2 tackles in a row, this one on Eddinghausen.
Well, that's a big effort. Langer's kick was fielded at silly mid-on by Daly, and then Langer peeled off 3 tackles in a row. It was a tremendous personal effort.
Well, the only problem with that short kick so early in the half, I think Queensland need to get deep into the New South Wales territory. That's given them the ball back in Queensland's half, and if they can hang on to it, they'll camp here for a while.
Here's Wishart, one-on-one with Michael Hancock. And now they go across to the left on the last tackle and off the boot of Andrew Johns. It's not a bad kick, swirling around up there, and the referee has given Queensland the penalty. He's ruled that Mullins was in front of the kicker and must stay 10 metres away. This is the high shot. Mullins the extreme left. And
well, he looks onside. The kick's taken almost on the 30-metre line, and Mullins a couple of metres onside. I'm sure the call would have come from one of the touch judges, but they got it wrong.
all right, well, I just hope you don't take up building houses.
I thought it was offside, but anyhow.
Be lopsided. Now Greenhill. And he's caught a high shot here from Dean Pay, I think it is. Manson calling Pay out. Greenhill, gee, there was practically nothing in it. Well, the Queenslanders are on the attack. We'll go to Paul Vaughton in a moment, but not right now. This is a good chance for him. They've built a foundation to attack the line. Larson, that's play on from Greenhill. Moore, then Lamb. Oh, Toovey, good tackle. Little man on little man. Now Moore to the right for Saylor. And Saylor decides to have a go. He's 8 metres out. Lazarus hangs on. Played for Bartram. Given to Langer. Back for Bartram. Bartram desperate to get it away. Langer's there at dummy half. What will the little bloke do? He goes himself. Langer confronted by the New South Wales defence. Now from Bartram. Then for Lamb. The little kick. Brasher dives back into the field of play. Queensland captain still on the bench. Well, Paul, 40 minutes behind you, and now the start of the second half. What were you saying at half-time?
Well, Ray, we were never in the game in the first half. We never even got started. We turned over far too much possession. At least half the time we had the football, we just turned it over. That's a better hit. Go, boys. And, you know, we're not in the game, Ray. That has been a better start in the second half. But defensively, I think we've been very sound. They've made a couple of breaks through the inside ball. We're trying, you know, look after that. And the big plus for them is Jeff Toovey's running from dummy half. We're trying to control that as well.
Yeah, Paul, if there has been a disappointing aspect to your game, I think it has been your marker defence. Toovey really has cut you up a fair bit up the middle.
Well, we did talk about it, you know, all week and before the game as well. You know, yeah, go Mickey. And so we've tried, you know, look after that this half. And I would like the backs to stand deeper, but they just never got any quality ball in the first half.
I know this is hard for you to do this. We do appreciate it. What did your senior players say to you at halftime? For instance, did Alfie have something to say?
Well, he said he thought they were standing offside. He had to talk to the referee 3 or 4 times about he thought that, you know, we were onside all the time and that they were offside, but to no avail. And he was just disappointed with the way that...
Here's Saylor with a bust! And he's able to stand and offload back for Billy Moore. You hold the phone, fat man, we'll come back to you. Here's Renouf looking for the line and pulled down. 2 metres out from the line. 5 tackles gone. Queensland on the attack. Lamb on for Langer. Langer runs to the line, and there's the end. No, he got a pass away, but he's given a penalty. Penalty to Queensland.
Yeah, good refereeing. Played advantage. Langer.
Langer dives for the line. It's a try. Langer has been awarded a try by referee David Manson. Well, fat man, we've brought you some luck, old boy.
Yeah, great work by Alfie there. I feel a little bit better now, but we're starting to get a bit of a roller with more possession, and that's what we wanted. I think we're back.
Well, you're back on the scoreboard, that's for sure. And it was great work from Wendell Saylor and Billy Moore. Offlady Renouf looked like he'd score, but Tim Brasher came up with a great try saver. This was good refereeing from David Manson. He played the advantage when there was no advantage. He gave the penalty, and Alan Langer, despite having a lot of numbers on the right-hand side, burst through the tackle, extended the arms to get their first points.
Well, Tim Brasher, you can't really blame him. He's just made a great try saver. Couldn't hold on to Alf there, stretching out. He's so desperate to score, Alf, isn't he, to get his side going forward, get them on the scoreboard. Very dangerous around that area.
What do you think he's saying, Gary?
Well, I reckon he's just telling him to go forward. Let's keep the pressure on the Blues, not slacking off. Big yards up the middle and try to get a good kicking game. As Fatty said before, they've started to control the football and they're back in the match.
Hang on, Badge, I reckon he said 6 words. You've come out with 27 sentences.
We only saw 6 on camera.
I think he was asking for a drink myself.
Just looking at Jeff Tuvey, he stood over the point where Langer plunged in for the try. I think he was saying to Manson he was short. There's the conversion attempt. That is successful. And 10 points to 6. The Blues over the Maroons. So the Blues starting now. Something that I guess they didn't want to be doing first in the second half. And Saylor just outside his 20-metre line, so that's really brought this match alive again. Andrew Johns has been a little bit of a knock on, but there's a 10-6. The Blues in front, and just a tiny lull in play. I'm just wondering whether Langer actually got this ball over the line. Jeff Tuvey claims that he put it down short, but I get the impression the ball, as it was rolled into the horizontal, at some stage touched the line. Now Jamie Ainscough plays the ball for New South Wales, and they've been relivened by their captain as Ainscough gets it away for Muir, and Muir is just outside the 20-metre line. 10-6 then. New South Wales over Queensland as Fittler takes them on. Tony Hearn and Gary Larson, and then Tuvey away for pay and out for Eddinghausen. And Eddinghausen is held by Langer and by Bartram. 5 tackles gone. Johns puts the kick in, the grubbing kick, and Saylor anticipated it nicely. Then he's picked up and forced back into the in goal.
That's great defence. He did a tremendous job, Wendell Saylor. His positional play was very, very good. He got through to the kick from Andrew Johns, and then Adam Muir and Tim Brasher combined to put a big man back into his in-goal area. And that means that they will have another set of 6 to maintain the pressure.
He's having a big game, Tim Brasher, isn't he? Chasing kicks, defensively very good. We would like to see Wendell Saylor perhaps in that situation again. He'll force himself towards the ground a little bit better.
So the line drop out, carried back by Rod Wishart. Met by Larson. Alan Cann. Now Fittler ran straight over the top of one of the Queenslanders who's gone down injured. They're just outside the 20-metre line. Adrian Lamb is injured. Fittler took on his Sydney teammate, and he's left him bruised as it goes away from Johns. Beautifully to Daly. They run the angle with Muir, and Muir is put down 9 metres out from the line. Now from Ainscough, again for Dean Pay. Pay is put down by Hearn and by Alan Cann. The 5th tackle. Tuvey goes back to the blind side. A rebound, a ricochet. Players all over the place. And Manson is going to take it out to the 10-metre line for the turnover.
He's seen a New South Wales knock on amongst all that. The ball ricocheting off Langer. Daly again, perhaps it's there. Daly maybe a hand on it. Well, or Adam Muir with his hands trying to get to it. Certainly at least one knock on.
The New South Wales coach Phil Gould has also given us a couple of minutes of his precious time. Phil, half-time, happy?
Yeah, we were happy at half-time. A couple of penalties early in the second half has brought them back into it, and we've got a ball game again.
That try, of course, has lifted them. You can see they've gone up a couple of cogs, have they not?
Yeah, we have. We talked about it at half-time. We said we'd achieved nothing. All we'd probably really done is got them angry, and they have come out and played very sharp in the first 10 minutes of the second half. Crowd's lifting them here, and now we've got a good ball game on our hands.
You're happy with the cohesion, with so many playmakers and Dailies and Fittlers and Johns and Tuvey? Everything's working okay?
Well, it's going okay. It's not as good as it's going to get. I mean, I think as the series goes on and these players play more together, they'll get better. But, you know, so both sides are certainly going very well tonight, I think.
Phil, it's still, I've been very impressed with the performance of Adam Muir. He really is giving you some strike power out wide and taking a bit of pressure off some of those playmakers we were just talking about.
Yeah, he is. He's really matured since last year. Had a taste of Origin, albeit a losing series, but he's certainly playing very, very well tonight. I think Jeff Tuvey, the hookers, have an outstanding game.
Thanks, Gus.
Good on you, mate.
Sound of Manson's whistle. And Tony Hearn not impressed about something, but Manson is about to give a penalty for this tackle by Hearn on Paul Harrigan.
Well, Tony Hearn appealing there that Paul Harrigan used the elbow in the tackle. They've had some cause for argument, but it's gone the other way, and Andrew Johns will now fine touch in opponent's territory. Menzies back on the field with Harrigan leaving.
And the Blues now just outside the Queensland 40-metre line. Cross for Johns and then out for Fittler. Further for Daly, then for Ainscough. Ainscough is just outside the 30-metre line. And Daly stays a dummy half. Then Fittler and Menzies. Menzies, his second passage of play in the game. Had a brief encounter in the first half, only about 10 minutes of it, so he's got plenty of petrol in the tank. Menzies played by Muir, then for Daly at 5/8 that time, across, and then for Menzies, and Menzies is pulled down. Head went back. There was a shout for a high tackle. Menzies plays the ball, then it's for Daly. Daly rolls it in, and Michael Hancock was alert for Queensland. He takes the tackle 5 metres out from his own line. Croker is on for the Blues as Saylor comes away and Croker goes underneath and Menzies over the top.
Tremendous work there from Michael Hancock. A high shot there from Dean Pay was allowed to go by the referee. Queensland now through their big man looking to get out of the danger area. Brad Thorne takes it over the 20-metre line. And again, Wendell Saylor from fullback is causing a few problems as Adrian Lamb really set up his teammate there for a dumping.
Well, we've got a problem here with Billy Moore and Andrew Johns. Andrew still trying to get to his feet. Billy Moore is up.
Billy Moore certainly felt that. Perhaps a head clash. Andrew Johns struggling to get up. Adrian Lamb drifting across field. Well, there's the clash of heads after Billy Moore had already lost the football. He's lucky to come out of that one okay.
Yeah, you would think that Jeff Tuvey would go to half-back now with Andrew Johns coming from the field. I don't see him staying out there after that kind of head clash. One of the most sickening sights in rugby league. They bring a very groggy Andrew Johns to the sideline. Tuvey to feed the scrum.
Steve Roach, there's no hint of New South Wales protecting this lead as the number 14, Jim Dimmock, comes on.
Well, that's a good thing in New South Wales' performance. They're not trying to protect that lead. Gus Gould spoke to them about that at half-time. If they shut up shop, Queensland will hit back.
What about that for an introduction to State of Origin football for Jimmy Dimmock? Straight into the hooking position. No, thank you.
30 metres out, and it's Tuvey at half-back using Eddinghausen. Is there a try coming? No, Wishart bombarded there by Hancock. Hancock in the main, the tackler, as they go across now. Dimmock, and Dimmock takes them on. Dimmock to play it, 9 metres out from the line. Tuvey with a long pass. Fittler holds it back, goes back for Menzies. Menzies taken by Lamb, and they're 12 metres out in the centre of the park. 10-6 the Blues. Now it comes from Dimmock. It's with Fittler. He dummies to Muir. Goes out for Daly. Daly's on his way. Daly very close to the
tackle. Wendell Sailor, try saver again.
Now they come across the line. On the bounce, it's taken by Lazarus. Lazarus, he puts the ball on the ground behind him, and Queensland come up with it.
Well, that's the best tackle of the game. Wendell Sailor on Laurie Daly. Daly had to score. Somehow Sailor stopped him from doing so. And we had another tremendous one on Glenn Lazarus. Have a look at this. Daly spinning out of tackles, the big fend. And Wendell Sailor, magnificent work.
Well, another Queensland error. Trying to get the ball out of their territory. They are just making it too easy for the Blues. Gary Larson now with the hit up. Jim Dimmick's given it some help. Certainly you put that down to a Larson mistake.
So a golden opportunity for New South Wales. They win the scrum. They're 25 metres out. Brasher angles across, trying to shake off Wendell Sailor. He doesn't succeed. The dummy half is Croker. Croker runs it to the 10-metre line, taking play more centrally on Suncorp Stadium. Then from Tuvey, then Fittler, now Dimmick. Dimmick pulled down 12 metres out from the line. Muir looks for a call, goes himself, and Muir is held about 7 or 8 metres out from the line. Tuvey now, an array of stars to choose from. He goes out to his captain. Fittler looks for Menzies. Menzies is pulled down. Queensland really being stretched here now. New South Wales giving it their biggest shot. It's gone from Fittler out for Daly. A ricochet off the Maroons. And it'll be interesting, this ruling. It's with Queensland.
Well, if Queensland go on and win this game, they will look back on this passage of play as the turning point. It appeared almost certain that the Blues, with this amount of possession and field position, had to score points. Daly looked like doing so. Lazarus went straight through, but somehow Queensland have rallied.
Laurie Daly's short kicking game really hasn't found its mark on the line, has it? He's kicked it into the opposition's legs a couple of times.
Langer, a long, perfectly directed pass to Renouf. He would desperately love to put Renouf through a gap. He hasn't had too many opportunities. Steve Renouf, Brasher, is back on his own line. Pulled down by Jason Smith. And a good chase in there from Colin Greenhill. Or Craig Greenhill, I beg your pardon. Play just inside the Blues 20-metre line. Tuvey for Dimmick. Dimmick, fresh player on. Gould not using him in the match until he was forced to with the injury to Andrew Johns. An opportunity here for Queensland with Manson ordering a knock-on. And they'll have the loose head and feed, the scrum just outside the 20-metre line.
Well, something we haven't seen too much of, unforced errors by the Blues. Glenn Lazarus just having a bit of a peek at the opposition then. And now Queensland still only trailing by 4 points. Could this be what they need to get back in the lead?
Great opportunity here. Sailor finds himself up in the line, then offers it, and Matt Singh was there. Singh, arc-like run that ends 20 metres out from the New South Wales line. 10 points to 6. New South Wales in front. Larson takes them on. Dimmick makes the tackle with Muir, and now they're 15 metres out. They're just off centre on the left of the ground. They go back to the right. Greenhill. And he's put down and tackled on the 10-metre line by Tuvey in combination with Fittler. They come back to the left, and Langer works with Moore. And Billy Moore crouches down as he takes the impact of the tackle from Muir. Lamb goes off to the right, tries to get between them, but Menzies is there with Dimmick. They put him down on 5. Back with Langer. Then Langer throws a long pass that ends up with Rod Wishart for New South Wales. So in the final analysis, they got off the hook very easily, the Blues.
Well, they did, I think, to Alfie's defence. He's changed his mind. He was going to throw a long ball, then decided on the short one. That player outside him ducking his head. He's just giving it straight back to the Blues.
The boys were talking about, well, there's a knock-on by Croker, so another great opportunity's coming up for Queensland.
Yeah, the tide's starting to turn now. I still think that defensive effort at the other end of the field 5 minutes ago has got plenty to do with what we're seeing now.
The boys were talking about Tim Brasher's performance tonight. And Kevin Walters, I know you've been equally impressed with the debut performance by Wendell Sailor.
Yeah, very impressed. I think he's been head and shoulders above any Queenslander out there tonight. Very surprised to see him taken off. I thought Queensland were in a great attacking position there, and if I was Alf or Jason Smith, he'd be the man I'd be looking to at the moment to break this Blues defensive line.
Jason Smith isn't looking for another player, he's looking for a hole.
Well, that wasn't a great pass from his halfback, but gee, I can't remember seeing this many simple mistakes from players of this quality in such a big game.
This will bring a penalty to Daly and New South Wales. It's against Langer for interfering with the man playing the ball when he wasn't in the marker position.
I'll tell you one other thing that hasn't helped the performance tonight. I think it's been a shocking 10 metres. I see the ball coming off the knee of Laurie Daly. Alan Langer claiming he had nothing to do with it. I think the referees really struggled to keep these two teams apart tonight.
Played by Lazarus, and Dimmick offers a decoy run to the blind side. Dean Pay is tackled 35 metres out from the Queensland line. New South Wales by 4, and there goes Tuvey again. He got through Lamb's tackle. He was taken by Greenhill. Now from Dimmick. And it's with Adam Muir, but they're almost shaking hands with each other as they line up again in attack and defence, and across from Fittler for Daly. And Daly is held on the 20-metre line there by Thorne and also by Billy Moore. This is the last tackle, and it's with the captain. And off the left foot, he goes back looking for the outside men. There's a chance. I think it's more than a chance. It's been claimed and given.
Yes.
It's a try for the Blues.
Steve Menzies has come through. Great kick from Brad Fittler. Tremendous left-footed kick, and that's the ability of this man. He can do it with both feet, and it wrong-footed Michael Hancock. Players back to the right-hand side here. Yes, they're onside. Hancock was heading to the open side. He had to turn around, couldn't get there on the full, and Steve Menzies did a good job to get downward pressure.
It is a fine kick. The hook-back kick from Fittler. Hancock, well, to his credit, he was going to cover his fullback on the other side of the field. Just caught out of position a little bit and got a bad bounce. Couldn't get to the ball on the full. Just couldn't make it. It took a terrible bounce for him. A great one for Steve Menzies. He's always there, always present up the middle of the paddock, Menzies.
Ironically, it's his first State of Origin try. The man that monotonously comes up with tries, leading try getter for the Manly club all-time forward tries last year.
And it won't be the last he scores at this level. Really, what a luxury to be able to have in your side, a man who just can get across the line continuously. And again, we come back to the mistake from Jason Smith. Queensland had just got some momentum going, and all of a sudden a simple knock-on from a scrum win 40 metres out from the opponent's line.
Steve, what's the story on Andrew Johns?
Yeah, he's back on the field now. He's not taking this goal kick. Rod Wishart is, but they took him into the rooms. He had a little bit of a concussion. Now he's back on the field.
And there's young Adrian Lamb coming off. Some blood coming from, I think it's a mouth injury. But Brad Fittler did a similar job on New Zealand in the Test series last year. He took control of that game as well with that kicking game, and there's Rod Wishart hitting the upright. So it's 14-6, the Blues over the Maroons. Queensland then with a very big job in front of them. 14 minutes on the clock, and now trailing by 8. As Lazarus continues to carry the ball back. He's had a magnificent game, Lazarus. 21 tackles, 17 hit-ups. He leads the hit-ups. And he's not far behind the top tackler in the game as well. 14-6 New South Wales at Suncorp Stadium. State of Origin 1 with just under 14 minutes left. And Steve Menzies, who got the hand on the try, his first Origin try, plays it on the halfway line. Andrew Johns is back on. Daly gets it away. Eddinghausen. Hancock's got problems here. Eddinghausen resorts to the boot. Now Robbie O'Davis. He's got problems. And New South Wales knock on.
Oh, so close there. Robbie O'Davis did a pretty good job. But Andrew Johns, a tremendous ball here. He realised that Queensland player had rushed in. That opened up space for Eddinghausen. called his winger inside, kicked deliberately for him. Davis here, back over his head, but he was in the way of Ettinghausen to force the mistake.
Queensland just crossing their own 20-metre line through Trevor Gilmeister. Daly the tackle. New South Wales with two great stars of the game in the centres, and their defence, I know they can attack, we all know that, but their defence is quite solid.
Well, that's why we'd like to see a better 10 metres, give both sides a chance to attack. Alan Langer there kicking down the throat of Brasher. Personally, I'd like to see Wendell Sailor. He's been the most dangerous attacking player.
Brasher is linked up on the other side of the ground with Mullins. They roll it down towards the 10-metre line. Croker is there. He's very strong. He might get an offload away. He takes the tackle. 12 metres out from the line. Tuvey now works on the blind side. Fittler, Menzies. Menzies is pulled down. 3 metres out from the line. Looking for his second try. Now Jim Dimmick comes in. He's put down. 5 metres out. 14-6. The Blues can wrap it up here. It's with Johns. Now Daly. Daly tries to step away from Langer, but Langer hangs on with Alan Cann. 5 tackles gone as Ettinghausen goes back for Johns, and his kick goes across the park. It's a great kick, really. I don't know that they're all onside. Mullins, he'll dive in and score, but a penalty has been given by David Manson.
There's Andrew Johns kicking from a fairly deep position. It looked to me as well like a few of the Blues players were offside. We'll see it from the high shot. Well, there goes the kick. Player out wide, I think it's Tim Brasher coming in. I think a couple of metres in front. And that's why the penalty's been given away. Has to say 10 metres away from the ball.
Yeah, it's of no consequence whether Brett Mullins was onside. No doubt Brasher was in front of the kicker. There's a big shoulder charge there on young Craig Greenhill. Sees him make it 30 out. And now Queensland in the situation of having to score twice really need to put some points on. They won't do it with this kind of play.
Referee Manson ruling no knock on there, and Brad Thorne takes it upon himself to break them up. And a good run by Thorne. 35 metres into the Blues half of play. Now, Langer pushes it along the line, and Jason Smith gets another hard pass. Way out in front of him, and again Jason comes up with the knock on. Well, you'd think that it probably was entitled to stick, but he has got a couple of ordinary balls. He's put them both down consecutively. Crowd figures just being supplied to me in excess of 39,000 here tonight. 14-6. 2 tries to New South Wales. Ettinghausen and Menzies. This is Jason Croker. He was thought of as a certainty to make the 1994 Kangaroo Tour. He comes back in a sky blue jumper. Now Harrigan, met by Thorne. Bartram's there as well.
Jason Croker, one of those rare characters who's probably still underestimated, except by his peers, as Menzies back on the inside, well taken by Matt Singh. Jason Croker, the kind of player you can put in any position, you know that he'll do the job.
Daly working with Menzies with that inside pass. Queensland have been able to hold to this point in time, and Dimmick's kick has found the line, so the scrum will go down. Daly gives a pat on the head to the Jim Dimmick haircut.
Yeah, it slipped straight off.
It's a good time waster that from Jim Dimmick for his side. They can get set from this scrum. All they want to do is put a good solid set of 6 tackles together and keep Queensland up this end of the field. I guess they feel that they can wrap it up from here.
Kevin Walters, I made comment about Glenn Lazarus. His performance hasn't gone unnoticed. You've been impressed?
Oh, very much so. In fact, he's played the whole 71 minutes of the game to date, and without being too cheeky towards Lazo, if I was Alf, I'd be hit with one bloke, I'd be pointing out in the defensive line, because he must be tired. He's got an enormous work rate. We get some blokes out of dummy half and with a bit of a step, and hopefully Lazo might miss a couple of tackles.
It's 21 and 18, Kevin, for the record.
Yeah, mate, yeah, it's a big work rate. He's such an agile man for the size of him. And
I can't believe his ability to cover.
Yeah, he beats me at sprints at trainers. That gives you an idea how quick he is.
Kevin Walters joining us on the commentary team tonight. And here's Michael Hancock making a surge infield. Harrigan missed him the first time, came again to wrap up the tackle of Andrew Johns. And now it's with Alfie, who scored the Queensland try. Mullins gets a good bounce, and Brasher starts his progress up the park. Lamb is back on with the head bandaged.
Gee, that was good football between Mullins and Brasher. Great confidence in each other. Not scared to throw a pass. And now New South Wales in the third tackle through Paul Harrigan take it 45 out centre field. At the end of this, they'll look to get a good kick down around the in-goal area of the Queensland side.
A long ball gets them to the extremity of the field, into the hands of Daly. Wishart and Eddinghausen inside and outside. And now Menzies. Menzies put down just a metre into Queensland's area. Alan Cann recovering one of his boots as Fittler selectively puts it down into the corner and forcing another scrum. Set their line, try and pin the Queenslanders down in this safety zone for New South Wales.
We've talked about the great players they have, New South Wales. As well as that, they've got a very mixed kicking game. Who do you chase? If it doesn't go to Fittler, it goes to, well, either to Johns or out to Daly. We saw Jim Dimmick with a kick earlier. All fairly accurate with the boot.
It's like a damn wall that springs a leak. Stop it there, but how do you stop it over there? Run out of fingers.
Apart from that, we are saying the Blues have played fairly well, but I still think Queensland have been their own worst enemies tonight. So many unforced errors and only 8 points on the scoreboard. Without that, I really think they could have made a much closer match of it.
That's a fair comment, Gary, although just extending that comment, you'd have to agree, though, that the Blues can only but get better.
Well, I guess we have seen them make some mistakes. They have gelled a lot, particularly out wide, a lot better than Queensland. The Queensland back line is just, well, it hasn't really happened. Perhaps some credit there goes to the Blues defence, but they haven't put too much pressure on apart from Wendell Saylor a couple of times. He's come in from fullback.
Robbie O'Davis is on at the moment, and he hasn't had a lot of game time. The kick is very big down over the head of Tim Brasher, who's back on his own line. He runs towards Mullins' wing, and of course over there is Brett Dallas and Matt Singh. A great contest of speed over there. That is one contest you'd like to see.
Time running out now for the Queensland team. As we pointed out earlier, they need to score twice. So it'll be mistake-free football from New South Wales. Plenty of charges up the middle, one out stuff. Here's Laurie Daly taking some pressure off his forwards to pick up 15 metres. And again at the end of it, they'll look to one of their kickers to get it down the other end of the field.
Johns fends away from both Smith and Saylor, looking to unload, but Larson brings him down. And they're 40 metres away from the Queensland line as they come into the hands of Fittler. He puts it on the right foot, and again he turns Queensland around. And his chase from Eddinghausen and Wishart was superb. And O'Davis got 5 metres back into the field of play for Hancock to try and improve it.
It's not a coincidence that they kick towards Andrew Eddinghausen's side. He's the best chaser in rugby league from kicks. Again, him and Wishart leading the way down there as Alfie Langer tries to create something. Hancock, the big step, taken by Daly. Andrew Johns over the top.
Just 4 1/4 minutes on the clock. As Moore bumps his way up to the 20-metre line. I was going to make the point, you'd like to see Dallas or Mullins in space with the other chasing. Great contest over there. It hasn't presented the highlight we'd like to see from it as Langer's kick separates the full-back and the winger. And Brasher is coming back with Wishart. Wishart now angles back in. Eddinghausen offered him support. Eddinghausen out from dummy half and taking it up towards the halfway line. Metten held down by Moore and Hearn. Tuvey, and then it's with Lazarus. Still going, the big fella, playing in his 14th Origin match today.
Well, I can't help but be impressed by Tim Brasher's performance at the back. All quality. He's had a great game.
Jim Dimmick then goes to ground. He's 33 metres out. Harrigan joins in, gets rid of Hearn. Brasher is on the spot. That might be a knock-on against Croker, but the referee says play on. And he's tackled on the 20-metre line, 5th tackle. Johns probing, puts the kick in, looking for Eddinghausen and those fast men out wide. And Robbie O'Davis looks up and is confronted by Eddinghausen, Fittler, Johns, Dimmick and Wishart. You wouldn't like to have them in a posse chasing you.
It's just very professional, smart play here. Andrew Johns looks at his options, sees a bit of space in behind the line, and there's the chasing team with the number 3 again leading the way.
That's an enormous drop kick from Robbie O'Davis. And Wishart goes back into them. Larson wraps him up with more. Gary Larson hasn't stopped all night. 36 tackles, 19 hit-ups, Gary Larson. His personal contribution massive in the game. Croker, 5 metres inside the 20-metre line. Lazarus, a doubtful pass. Will they score again before the siren? Tuvey goes across. Johns pushes it on. Fittler rolls it into the in goal. Hancock turns, and now he is confronted by that same quartet of players. Referee Manson stepping in to quell one of the few areas of spitefulness in the game. It's been a very clean Origin contest.
Yeah, it's just frustration here from Michael Hancock. He believed that David Furner went on too long in the tackle. Furner thinking that he could come in here to help his teammates. No damage done.
Man of the match tonight is provided by the Tui's people. At home, I wonder who you think it will be. Who are your front runners? Tuvey, Lazarus, Muir. As Andrew Johns makes a mistake, and a scrum will restart 20 metres out from the Queensland line. The bench is happy. Wishart, Dimmick, Adam Muir. One of the managers, Bobby Saunders, off behind Adam Muir. This big crowd. None of them really have left, even though Queensland facing a fairly forlorn hope for the major part of the second half. And now the final seconds are ticking away. We'll have men in the centre on full time. We'll take you down to meet and talk to some of the players. And Queensland will come back with this. Steve Reynolds, as the siren sounds in the background. New South Wales has won State of Origin 1, 14 points to 6. 2 tries. Eddinghausen at the 35th minute. Menzies at the 63rd. Andrew Johns added the extras with 3 from 3. And for Queensland, Langer at the 47th minute. And Bartram 1 from 1. So New South Wales have taken out the first of the 3-match series, which of course moves to Sydney in a fortnight and then back here to Suncorp Stadium